A Japanese researcher once walked into a room full of crying babies from around the world. British babies crying, Canadian babies crying, Italian babies crying, American babies fussing, squirming, reaching for comfort. Then he looked toward the Japanese babies in the corner, and something was different. They were calmer, quieter, less frantic. So he ran the study again, and again, and again. The pattern kept showing up. Same kind of babies, same tiny bodies, same hunger, same sleepiness, same need for warmth and safety. But somehow the Japanese babies were crying less. So the question became impossible to ignore. What are Japanese mothers doing in the first months of a baby's life that so many other parents are not taught to do? And more importantly, can you use it tonight? Because this is not about saying Japanese mothers are perfect. They are not. This is not about saying one culture is better than another. It is not. This is about something much more useful. It is about a hidden rhythm in early caregiving, a way of reading a baby before the baby has to scream. Researchers at the University of Warwick analyzed data from more than 8,000 infants across different countries. They looked at how long babies cried, how often they fussed, and how many developed colic in the first weeks of life. The results surprised a lot of people. British babies were near the top. Canadian babies were also high. Italian, Dutch, and American babies cried a lot too. But Japanese babies were near the very bottom. They had some of the lowest crying and colic rates in the world. And when you hear that, the first instinct is to look for an obvious reason. Maybe genetics, maybe diet, maybe sleep routines, maybe something in the environment. But the answer was not that simple. Because the difference was not just in the babies. The difference was in the relationship around the baby. In Japan, early parenting is often shaped by two powerful ideas. Two words that do not translate perfectly into English. The first is amae, the second is mimamoru. And once you understand these two words, you may never hear your babies cry the same way again. Amae is the deep expectation of being understood without having to ask. For an adult, that may sound emotional. For a baby, it is survival. A newborn cannot explain hunger. A newborn cannot say the light is too bright. A newborn cannot say, I am tired, but I do not know how to settle. So in many parenting systems, the pattern becomes simple. The baby cries. The parent responds, and that response matters. It teaches the baby, my voice works. I can call for help. But Japanese caregiving often starts one step earlier. Not after the cry, before it. Before it. That is the part that changes everything. In many homes, crying becomes the first clear signal. A baby cries, and everyone moves. Someone checks the diaper. Someone makes a bottle. Someone turns on white noise. Someone rocks harder, bounces faster, tries one more thing. And sometimes, it works. But by then, the baby's nervous system has already climbed the ladder. The body is already stressed. The face is already red. The breathing is already sharp. The cry is not the beginning of the need. The cry is the alarm bell after the need has waited too long. Amae asks a different question. Not, how do I stop the crying? But, what was my baby trying to tell me before the crying started? This is where mimamoru comes in. Mimamoru means to watch over and protect. But it is not passive watching. It is not staring at your baby from across the room while checking your phone. It is a soft, steady kind of attention. The kind where you begin to learn the tiny language of your child. The way their shoulders tense before hunger turns into panic. The way their eyes look away when the room is too loud. The way their hands open and close when they are tired but fighting sleep. The way they suddenly go still right before they become overwhelmed. Most parents miss these signs, not because they are bad parents, but because nobody taught them that babies speak before they cry. We were taught to listen for the loudest signal. Japanese mothers are often trained, through culture and daily practice, to notice the quietest one. And this is the hidden shift. The baby does not have to keep proving distress to receive care. The baby does not have to scream to be believed. The baby begins to feel deep in the body, someone knows me. And for a newborn, that feeling is not small. It becomes the first map of the world. Is the world random or predictable? Do my needs disappear? Or are they noticed? Do I have to fight for comfort? Or does comfort come close before I fall apart? This is why early caregiving is not just about stopping tears. It is about teaching the nervous system what life feels like. When the gap between need and response is small, the baby's body learns calm faster. Not because the baby is spoiled, not because the baby is controlled, but because the baby is not forced to escalate every time they need help. And this is the part many modern parents need to hear. You do not need to become a perfect Japanese mother. You do not need to carry your baby every second. You do not need to copy another culture exactly. But you can borrow the principle. Watch earlier. Move sooner. Respond before the cry becomes the only language left. Respond before the cry becomes the only language left. And there is one simple routine that shows how powerful this can be. Researchers in Japan studied what happens when a mother picks up a crying baby and walks. Not sitting, not bouncing in one place, not rocking harder and harder out of panic. Walking. Smooth, steady forward movement. And something fascinating happened. Within minutes, the babies began to calm. Their heart rate dropped. Their bodies softened. The crying faded. Because deep inside the baby's nervous system, movement in a caregiver's arms sends an ancient message. I am being carried. I am close. I am safe. This is why the 5-minute walk can feel almost magical. But it is not magic. It is biology. So the next time your baby is crying and nothing seems to work, try this. Pick them up close to your chest. Hold them securely. Do not rush. Do not shake. Do not panic. Just walk slowly for 5 minutes. Let your body become the rhythm your baby cannot find yet. And before the crying even begins, try another practice. When your baby wakes up, pause for just 60 seconds. Look at them. Really look. What is their normal breathing like? What do their eyes do when they are calm? How do their hands move when they are hungry? What does tired look like before it becomes screaming? This is the pre-cry scan. It sounds small, but it teaches you your baby's private language. Then comes gap reduction. You do not have to respond perfectly every time. No parent can. But if you can catch one signal earlier, if you can shorten the space between I need you and I am here, you change the whole emotional pattern. Because a baby who is understood early does not need to shout as often. And this is where the lesson becomes deeper than crying. Maybe the goal is not to raise a baby who never cries. Crying is human. Crying is communication. Crying is not failure. The real goal is to raise a baby whose body learns again and again. When I reach for the world reaches back. That is the heart of amae. That is the practice of mimamoru, not control, not perfection, presence, attention. The quiet art of knowing someone before they have to break down to be seen. So tonight, do not ask only, how do I stop the crying? Ask something gentler. What is my baby asking for before the cry? Watch earlier. Move closer. Respond sooner. And if this changed the way you see your baby, subscribe for more deep parenting psychology. Because every week, we uncover the hidden science behind your child's world, one small signal at a time.